Brothers and sisters, have you ever wondered what Jesus did during the silent years of his life in Nazareth? Why do the Gospels seem to remain quiet about that period? Yet, we know those years were not empty, but filled with meaning, sacrifice, and love for humanity. Today, we want to reveal a secret to you, a hidden treasure preserved in the mystical revelations of Luisa Piccarreta, an Italian mystic known as the Little Daughter of the Divine Will. In her visions, Jesus shared with her the most intimate details of his hidden life. Prepare to discover a side of Jesus you've never known, the obedient Son, the God who suffers in silence, but always for our sake. Luisa Piccarreta lived a simple life, almost entirely confined to her bed due to a mysterious illness. Yet, her heart was filled with an intense union with God. She received extraordinary revelations from Jesus, compiled in a monumental work called the Book of Heaven. In these revelations, Jesus spoke to her about his mission, the divine will, and even his hidden years, a period often overlooked but brimming with profound spiritual depth. Luisa wrote that Jesus desired us to also know the mysteries of his daily life in Nazareth. These were not useless years of silence, but a time when he worked for our redemption, away from the eyes of the world, but never out of sight of those who loved him. Luisa reveals that every moment of Jesus' life, even the silent ones, was filled with meaning and love for us. Jesus confided to her that his hidden life was never lived in solitude, but always under the gaze of divine and earthly witnesses. In his own words,
"My very hidden life, my internal sorrows, and all I did always had at least one or two witnesses. This was for a reason, by necessity, and to fulfill the purpose of my sufferings. The first witness was my Heavenly Father, who could not overlook anything, as he himself was the one inflicting the pains upon me. He was both actor and spectator. If my Father had seen and known nothing, how could I have satisfied him, given him glory, or moved him to mercy toward humanity through my sufferings?"
In these words, we see Jesus living every moment of his hidden life under the watchful eye of the Heavenly Father, offering every sacrifice, every act, and every breath as a redemptive offering for humanity. Nothing he did was wasted, for every act was filled with divine love. But the Heavenly Father was not the only one to share those moments. Jesus revealed to Luisa that Mary, his sweet mother, was also a witness to his hidden sufferings. He said,
"Secondly, my mother witnessed all my sorrows during my hidden life, and this was necessary. She was so captivated, moved, and enraptured by the sight of my sufferings that she begged me, in light of the great good they brought to her, to allow her to share in my pains, to suffer with me, and to give me a return of love, becoming my perfect imitator."
Mary was not only a witness, but also a participant. To share in the sufferings of her son meant becoming his first disciple, the first to respond to God's infinite love with a love equally pure and total. She understood that every hidden suffering was a gift, a redemptive act for the entire world. Jesus continued, explaining how vital it was for at least one creature to share in his pains.
"If my mother had seen nothing, I would have had no first imitator, no gratitude, no praise. My sufferings and the good they contained would have remained without effect, for no one would have known them. Without the first support, the purpose of the great good meant for humanity would have been lost."
Thus, Mary becomes the first model for how we, too, can participate in the mysteries of Christ through love and suffering offered with faith. Many of us think of Jesus' silence during his hidden years as a void, but Jesus explained to Luisa that this silence was a gift to humanity. It was the ground upon which he planted the seeds of his public ministry. Every small daily action, every sacrifice lived in obscurity, had eternal value.
I lived every moment of my hidden life in perfect union with my Father, offering everything as a sacrifice. Nothing escaped his gaze. My labors, my rest, my silent prayers. Everything rose as an offering for the redemption of souls.
Through these words, we understand that Jesus teaches us to sanctify even the simplest actions of our daily lives. No matter how insignificant they may seem to the world, in God's eyes, every gesture has eternal value if done with love. Jesus explained to Luisa that every act of his hidden life had profound meaning. Even the manual labor he performed alongside Joseph was an offering to the Father. He said,
Every strike of the hammer, every piece of wood I worked on was an occasion for me to love the Father and to offer my obedience to atone for humanity's disobedience. Even in the humblest of labors, my heart burned with love for you.
This lesson invites us to transform every moment of our lives into an offering to God. Every suffering, every sacrifice, every act of daily love can be united with those of Jesus for the salvation of souls. The revelations of Luisa Piccarreta about Jesus' hidden life invite us to reflect on how every moment of our lives can be transformed into holiness. Jesus shows us that sanctifying the ordinary is possible. Even the simplest actions of our day, if done with love and offered to God, can have eternal value. Just as Mary was the first imitator of Jesus, we too can participate in his sufferings and his mission through our faith and love. Every one of our sufferings, when offered with love, becomes redemptive. Even our daily struggles can be transformed into acts of salvation for the world. By living every moment under the gaze of the Father, just as Jesus did, we can live in union with God, knowing that every act of ours is seen and loved by Him. Dear brothers and sisters, let these revelations ignite our hearts with faith and hope. Let us learn from Jesus and Mary to live our daily lives with love, offering them to the Father as a gift. Let us not allow the silence of our lives to go unnoticed. Every gesture, every sacrifice has eternal value in God's eyes. Jesus has shown us, through the hidden life revealed to Luisa Piccarreta, that there are no insignificant moments. Everything can be transformed into holiness when lived with love. If these words have touched your heart, share this video and leave a comment. Together, we can spread the beauty of the divine will and live as true children of God. God bless you.